Hello chickies, welcome to the Fully Booked Penguin channel. I am Hannah and today we are doing my June TBR. Now we're not going to reinvent the wheel this time. We are just going to go through our wheels and get prompts and then choose from my tray here, my physical TBR, and then we also have a Kindle TBR. I am filming this a bit early, so I can't tell you if I got through my May TBR or not. But it's time for a new one, so we're going to... Oh, it's low battery. Just like we always never wanted. There we go. Hopefully it doesn't die on us. So we're going to start with my 10 before the end from our Wheel of Doom or Peace, which I'm doing with my friend. Currently we've been doing very well. Every month we've done it. Every month I've succeeded in reading that book. If we get one that I've already done, obviously we'll spin again. We're going to spin up our wheel. Hopefully it doesn't glitch out anything that has happened before. The Lives of Vampires and Slayers. We have already done that one, so we must go again. I could probably turn down this sound. Trixie, Belden and the Mystery of Glen. I believe it's on the back of the pile. Alright, so our 10 before the end for this month is going to be Trixie, Belden and the Mystery of Glen by Julie Campbell. This is a middle grade mystery series, and in it we are following Trixie, who is like a teenager, and she has her brothers and then her neighbors, and they've made this like little club called the Bob Whites. In this one I have no idea what we're doing. It doesn't come with a blurb, so we kind of just have to go with what we think it's going to be about. And I assume it's about Trixie solving yet another mystery. I can't remember if this is one I have read. Maybe it is. Sometimes I get the old mysteries because it's been so long. I did read these when I was a kid, but I haven't read them in so long that I forget what the plots were. I've got somebody's little bookmark. I don't recall seeing that ever, so maybe I haven't read this one. I'm either remembering this book or I'm remembering a book that I wrote and it was like a rip-off of the Trixie Belden series. But they might go on a horse ride and they find a clue. I could bring it up on my thing. Wow, so you're so smart. I think I was remembering my book. Okay, so in this one we have a storm and a tree falls on the clubhouse. And so they have to earn money in order to build and repair their place. However, Trixie, of course, stumbles upon a poacher. And that's all we get. That's the mystery. So as I say, it's a middle grade mystery. Should be quick and easy. We keep avoiding all the super long books on the list, so we might reach the end of the year and I just get long book after long book after long book. So that is our 10 before the end. Done. We are going to do 7 prompts. I haven't removed any. If we get the same prompt as before, I'm no longer keeping track. I can't be bothered with that. Hopefully we don't get any super difficult ones. Super repetitive. Hopefully we get new ones, but I'm not going to check if they are new. We have an indie / self-published book. I don't have any on my physical, which means we must go to Kindle. And I think I added them to my Goodreads. Hopefully I did. That would be awkward if I haven't. I have 57 books on my want to read. Is this self-published? I'm going to assume it's some sort of self-publishing, and that is going to be The Princess and the Blade, which is book 1 of a slow burn YA, Princess and Knight Romantasy, and it is by aitommylove. It's an illustrator that has also written it, so it's meant to have super pretty art in the paperback especially, but it is also on Kindle Unlimited. So we are going to try it out. Charlotte never imagined she would have a blade drawn to her throat inside her very castle. So she is a sunshine princess. And then she has a emotionless knight that follows her every order. And his name is Hochi. Hoch? We're gonna call him Hoch. So he becomes her guard. So her parents are missing. She gets a new guard. She is ruling the kingdom by herself. And there are threats to the kingdom. So we're going to try it out since it's on Kindle Unlimited. And it sounds interesting. And if I like it, I can get a really, really pretty trophy. So our indie published book is going to be The Princess and the Blade, book 1. If there's any lighting changes, you're going to have to just forgive me. I'm relying on natural light. And in winter, natural light is temperamental at best. We get to book number 3 now, which is going to be... start a new series. Actually, I do have several options for this on our physical TBR. We do have Lord of Mysteries, which is one that I need a lot of brain power for. But we also have several manhwa to choose from. That would be beginning series. But then we also have Veronica Speedwell's Mysteries that we could start as well. This is tough. What series do I want to start? Should I put this on my list because currently I don't have super long ones, and then from now on I can choose really short ones? I could do that. And I do need to check whether this is up my alley. I know there's a not a manhwa. I know there's an anime that I could watch if I do read. I just hear that there's dark bits, and I don't know if it has things that go against my own moral my moral gauge, what I put up with. So we'll have to see. But this is in the storm of steam and machinery, who can achieve the extraordinary? In the fog of history and darkness, who whispers? When Zhao Mingru, don't know if I butchered that, wakes up bloody and dazed, he finds himself in a world of guns, factories, airships, and difference engines, but underneath the surface of all this industry there exists a secret society revolving around potions, divination, sealed artifacts, and much more. And this is by Cuttlefish that loves diving, and it is a light novel series. It's a Chinese light novel, I believe, and it is a much loved in the community, but it is a chunky first novel. I did buy them without knowing much about what it's about because 1, I saw a scene from the anime, and 2, I saw the covers and I was intrigued. So we are going to put this on my list, I think. I know, shocking, me actually choosing the big book for once instead of being tortured or forced into it by my friend. I'm going to choose it. Are you proud of me? Me choosing a big book. Wow. Wow. And to be fair, I say big book, it is 571 pages. Some might think that's a smaller book. Me, that's a bigger book. Alright, so Lord of Mysteries, The Clown, Part 1 by Cuttlefish that loves diving. He's going on our list for starting new series. Alright, prompt number 3, book number 4 is going to be... random subgenre or trope romance. Which means I do have to open up a separate wheel that I have made for this. Alright, our romance subgenre / trope is going to be... ooh, that's the red one. Secret identity, billionaire, or royal. That's like 3 different genres, but... secret identity. Oh, I do have that one. That's a secret identity. Is it a romance though? I don't know if it's considered a romance, but I don't really want to go looking on my Kindle list. I don't think there's anything that quite fits that. We have From a Knight to a Lady. The art is by Ink, the story is by In, and the original story is by Hyerim Sung. If beauty and wit are a woman's weapons, then I shall wield them as fiercely as I once did my sword. So it is a secret identity because Estelle was a loyal knight of a kingdom. However, she is killed. I don't know whether it's by someone she liked or something like that. And she wakes up 3 years later in the body of Lucifera, spoiled daughter of a wealthy count in the enemy empire. So it's she tied went to enemy. And this lady, she actually has an engagement to a duke who used to be her enemy. She doesn't want that engagement. So she's determined to uncover the truth about her kingdom's downfall and the betrayal that led to her death. So we shall see how that's a female knight, became a lady. Intriguing. I think we will use this one. As I say, I'm not sure if there's super amount of romance in it, but it does have the secret identity, and that's the main part. That's fun, a little manhwa fantasy. I take it as a bit of romance on the list for us. Alright, let's do these final 4 books before the sun goes down. Disappears completely. Book starting with a random letter of the alphabet. Shuffle, 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 shuffle. 1, 2, 3. It's a different kind of clicking sound. D. Have we done V before? Alright, we have options for V. We have villains are destined to die. Pretty much. Does it really matter if there's anything else? Are we just going to choose that one? Probably. As I say, we don't have any other manga other than the last one we picked. We are about to be at an interesting point in this one. Villains are destined to die. I have chosen the manhwa version. We also have the novel version. We are following Penelope. She's our heroine. She's a real world person, ends up in a gaming world on hard mode, and she has to woo one of the targets. And since she is the villainess in the story, she dies a lot, or she has threats upon her life, and if she was playing the game, she died over and over again. And so she is trying not to die. However, she is trying to find a target that will allow their meter to go up to 100 so then she can escape this land. She is not here to revolutionize or fall in love. She's just trying to escape this game. She wants out. And in this one, we have just returned from a hunt that didn't go so well because we ran into some assassins with the Crown Prince. However, the Crown Prince is not so good. He's a bit out of it, and our girl is getting charged with treason while he's unconscious. So our family will probably not step up. They'll probably say, just apologize, or you're on your own because this is a step too far. And she'll be like, I didn't do it. And they're like, we don't believe you. So that's what's happening in this one. And that is going to be our 5th pick. Our 6th book is going to be Goodreads recommended. Have a chip while we wait. I have a shelf on Goodreads called Annoying MC Shelf. And it's like based on your Annoying MC shelf. I'm like, that is not a good shelf to be on. We're going to go down the list and find if anything I currently have on my TBR is on there. Alright, the only one that really stands out to me is they did suggest Twisted Wonderland. And we are on the final volume. So if I read this, then I can hand them all back to my friend. And we can finish this tale up once for all. Also, pat little ace on the head. What a cutie. So we are going with Twisted Wonderland, the Book of Heart's Labule, the manga volume 4. In this we are following Yu, who is a real world person. He practices kendo. One night he is picked up by a strange carriage and transported to the world of Twisted Wonderland, which is like the villains of Disney have these different dorms, and it's an academy, and they're meant to learn lessons. But in this one, we are following the overpowered, the bully, the tyrant of the Queen of Hearts dorm, which is the warden. I can't remember his name, to be honest. He probably has a weird name. And, yeah, we're following him as he loses his mind, mainly due to this lad here, who's a bit of a rebel. To be fair, the laws of the Queen of Hearts dorm are ridiculous. So we will finish up Twisted Wonderland for our 6th book. And now we get to go to our 7th book. We should probably choose some actual novels now for our final 2. I will try my best. Is it going to tick over? No. Title with a random number of words. Our random number of words is going to be 3. Alright, here's our 3 options. We have N of Ingleside, we have Jim and Wally, and then we have A Curious Beginning. They're all historical. These two are on my series, 26 series for 2026. So you should do probably one of them. I think I'm going to go with the more difficult one. And we're going to go with Jim and Wally, which is book, I don't know, 5? This is book 5 in the Billabong series. It is a Australian series. It was originally written in the early 1900s. So in this one, it is 1915. And our boys, Jim and Wally. So Jim is the brother of our main girl. And Wally is like a childhood friend / part of the family by this point, pretty much. Anyway, they are fighting for England. However, they are gassed during a battle. And so they are sent to recuperate in France, where Nora, who is our main girl, and her father are. And they have a little house or relatives there, I think. Anyway, so it's this one. They're meant to be resting and recuperating. However, the war may come to them. And it's starting to get a bit sad with these books, so it is war. But I love Jim and I love Wally, and it is called Jim and Wally. So hopefully I get plenty of adventure with our boys. The family is Australian, if that wasn't clear. And then they're fighting for England. Our final prompt is going to be: we are not going to buy any more books. I already have tons and quarters, so we're not going to buy ourselves a book. I'm on a slight buying them. A retelling. There is a funny one that is like a retelling of nursery rhymes. Pretty sure it's on here. Oh, I'm looking at the wrong list. That might help. Itsy Bitsy Liar. Once Upon a Rhyme series. And this one is by Abigail Manning. I believe each book is written by a different author. It's retelling, and it's a fantasy romance. What if the itsy bitsy spider could only weave a web of lies? Lacey has been cursed since she was a child to only speak lies and wants nothing more than to keep it unknown. As a common handmaiden, she learned how to navigate her twisted words fairly well, but that all changes when her mistress makes her switch places with her in the Prince's Bride competition. Unable to refuse, Lacey is forced to play the role of a noble. She meets the charming Prince Carlex, but, impersonating a noble could get you. So, Once Upon a Rhyme is a collection of clean, intercepting stories, best enjoyed when read as a series. Alright, we are going with Itsy Bitsy Liar, which is another indie published. Isn't that fun? We're going to read that as our retelling. Okay, so our final list for our June TBR is as stands. First up, for our 10 Before the End, we have Trixie Belden and the Mystery of Glen Road by Julie Campbell, which is a middle grade mystery. Then, for an indie published book, we have The Princess and the Blade by aitommylove, which is a YA romantasy. Then, for a start a new series, we have Lord of Mysteries, The Clown Part 1, so it's the first book, by Cuttlefish that loves diving, and it is a dark mystery fantasy with steampunky vibes. Then for the subgenre / trope of hidden identity, we have From a Knight to a Lady by Hyerim, Sung, Ink, and Ein, and it is a fantasy manhwa. Then we have a book starting with the letter V, and I chose Villains Are Destined to Die, Volume 5. This is by Gwon, Gyeoeul, and the art is by SUOL, and it is a manhwa fantasy. And it isekai sort of a situation. Then we have a Goodreads recommendation, and we chose Twisted Wonderland, Book of Hearts Labio, Volume 4. It is the last one, and it is a fantasy manga. Then we have a book with 3 words in the title, and it is Jim and Wally by Mary Grant Bruce. This is book 5 in the Billabong series. It's an Australian historical fiction adventure series. Then finally we have a retelling, which is Itsy Bitsy Liar by Abigail Manning. And it is a, fantasy, romantasy retelling. That is going to be our June reads. So that ends my TBR discovery. Maybe we'll come up with a new way of choosing next month. But for now, that's me. So if you enjoyed, if you have any lists of books you're going to read this month, let me know down below. And until next time, peace.
T26